it's from its very beginning of hekdesh, it's a dichai, so that's considered rejected as well, and it doesn't get its status. It can never return that status, and that's also machlokes in sukkah. If we say nidche mi'ikara, if that's considered a dichai. Amar Abaya. Abaya says, Hakal Maidim, everyone would agree. Rashi learns this. He's saying, if a person says half is an Eila and half is Meiser, so the Rashi's learning it that he's not even counting the animals. So he says half this animal is an Eila, half is Meiser, but there's no 9 other animals there. So there's no such thing as just calling something Meiser. So we say Divrei Kol Eila. It's definitely, everyone would agree that it's an Eila. Even Rabbi Yossi, that usually says you have to look at the full statement before you start analyzing. Rabbi says no, you just say that you look at the first one. Rabbi Yossi says you have to look at the whole statement, and even Rabbi Yossi would agree here that it's only an Eila in Kreva, in its broad.
What if he calls the 10th animal Ola and Masa?
Yes, that's another way of learning this Gemara, and Tosfos learns like that. Yeah, I don't.
That's the only way you can have it.
That's because the Meiser is not counting, right? He's just
because he's not counting. Now, do you remember we had someone try to call a Bachar an Eila as it's being born at that moment?
Yeah.
And then we discussed, we say the nature of the what's Divrei Rav, Divrei Talmud, Divrei Mishayman. So if it walks through naturally, we would probably have to compare it to that, because it's walking through, and whether he pronounces it or not, it's still considered the 10th one. The pronouncement applies to the 9th and to the 11th. That would mess it up. But the 10th one, if he doesn't say anything, I think it automatically becomes Meiser. And then he's going to pronounce it an Eila. That I don't know if that's going to work. You follow?
Yeah, but I mean, if he's not standing there, and 100 go through the gate, which means every 10th one, according to what you just said, would be Masa, and he comes and sees 100.
It's because he's counting. 10. No, it's because he's counting 1 through 9.
So he has to do.
He has to count 1 to 9. But let's say he doesn't say the 10th. It doesn't say 10. It does become holy.
It does become.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Gemara says that like this. Let's say he says half of it is Temurah and half is Meiser. What's the din? Temurah Kreva, do we say Temurah? They bring it as a Temurah Shkena Heges B'chol HaKodshim, because Temurah is more powerful, because you can do Temurah to any animal. Not you may, but you can. Oidelma Meiser Kreva, or maybe Meiser is the one that you bring it. Shkein Makdish Lefanav Alachra, because Meiser has the ability to consecrate the 9th animal and the 11th animal if you make those mistakes when it's walking through the pen. So Meiser has like more power. So Teku. We don't know which one overpowers which. We have another mission here. We say Harizu Tachazu. This Mishnah could have been the first Mishnah of the Masechta, would have been clearer. But if someone says this animal is in place of this animal, Rezu Tachazu, Temurasu, or he says it's a Temurah of this animal, or Khalifasu, or in exchange for this animal, Harizu Temurah. All of those are cases of Temurah. Let's see the next one before. Did we say over there? Temurasi? Is that Khalifasi? Is that Kapara? Do we say Temurasi? That's one of them? Is that Temurasi? Okay. It's a problem. We're not allowed to do Temurah.
Just wondering about
Zu, let's say he says Zu Mechuleles al Zu. That means that this one should become, Mechulel means that it should become mundane, or on this one. So in Zu Temurah. Now, that's also a type of exchange. You're taking the Kedusha off of this carbon and you're putting it onto that.
A person to Hagdish?
That would be Erech two types. But okay, so what we just learned here is that there is a way of doing an exchange that's not Temurah and it's perfectly permissible. If you might say hektish balmum, then it's yotze l'chul and tzarech lasis damim. If hektish is a balmum, then that's actually what you do. Then the hektish actually goes out to chulin, because you can't actually do this mechulelas al zu if there's no mum in the carbon. The carbon is going to stay a carbon. But if the carbon did have a mum, and you want this the status of holiness to go on to another carbon, and that this original carbon that has a mum should become mundane, should become chulin, that will work. The only thing you have to make sure is that the values are similar, or else, if it's not similar, then you're cheating the hektish. If it could be you're overcharging hektish. Okay.
And this is a carbon that had a mum when it was designated?
No. It was designated, and then it gets a mum.
And then it got the mum.
Right. Yeah, if it got the mum first, then it never would have gotten the status of a
never
carbon.
gets the status, right.
Gemara now says, Memra the tachas lishna dat fusehu. You want to say in the Mishnah we had different expressions here, Hebrew expressions that mean exchange. Now, when we use the word tachas, we said that that's a word that means temurah. Now, atfuse means to grasp. Grasp is a negative connotation here. It means that this is a temurah, this is the prohibited act. When you say tachas, v'raminu, there's a contradiction. We have another brisa. It says kochi bedek abayas. If you have things that are not consecrated as sacrifices, just as temple fund, Omar, and he says, probably zu chalifas zu, or temurah zu. If he says that this should be in exchange for that, or this should be a temurah of that, lo yamar klum. That's not going to do anything. However, if he says tachas zu, or mechulelas zu, dvar of kayam. So here, tachas is under the category of mechulelas, of being redeemed. And tachas is not temurah. Tachas means redemption. And if you're going to say that it's atfuse, maishna reisha, maishna seifa, then why is it considered mechulelas? Why is dvar of kayamim in this brisa when he says tachas? Temurah didn't work. Why does tachas work? If tachas means temurah. Amar Rabbi, tachas mishkachas la lishna dat fusei v'lishna dat chulei. It works as both. And lishna dat fusei, we're going to quote a pasuk to show us this. It works as atfusei, which means that it works as grasping temurah. Diksiv im tachtea tamara beheres. Right, tzaras. If, when he checks it again, he says in its place it stayed the same. So here it means that it stayed the same. That means that it's the same status. It's not taking away anything, which is temurah. And it's also, it's probably supposed to say lishna over here. Lishna da'achulei d'ksiv tachas anachoshes savizav. Instead of copper, I'll bring gold. You have a reference to what this is? Maybe the improvements at the Bais Hamikdash or something.
Upkeep it.
So we see that tachas means that it's a real exchange here. It's not. It's a redemption. Okay. V'hilkach, and therefore gabi kachim is beyach davdin temurah. If temurah is applicable, which that is applicable by sacrifices that are brought on the altar, lishna dat fusil, then we say that it's considered temurah. If temurah is not applicable, then you have to look at the context. And in the context, you can't say that it means temurah, so lishn da'chuliyot, so it means redemption. Amar Rava. Rava says, afilu b'kachim mizbeach mishkachas la lishn da'chuliyot. It is possible, even by kachim mizbeach, that it means redemption and not temurah, even though we're dealing with a carbon. And the example is, k'gain sheyehektish balmum. If the hektish is a balmum, and you say this should be in place, this should be tachas that, so then we're going to assume that what it means, we're going to translate it to mean that it's a redemption. because that animal needed to be redeemed. Amar Ravashi. Ravashi says, "Afilu bebalmum nami mishkachas alishn da'achulei." Even by afilu bebalmum nami. Oh, mishkachas alishn da'achulei, mishkachas alishn da'tfusi. You can have both by a balmum. Why? Yadai akodesh. Depends what the person's pointing to, or what he puts his hand on when he gives the expression. If his hand is on the kodesh, and what he says is that this animal should be in place of the mundane animal. So then, what he's trying to say is that this animal should lose its kedusha, so that the other animal should get the kedusha. So he's saying the holy animal should be in place of the mundane animal. So that means he's redeeming it. Chol habi. But yodei achol. But if his hand is on the mundane animal, and he says this animal should be in place of that animal, then that means he's extending the kedusha over, which is Temurah, and then it's kodesh habi. Then it's considered, and it's Temurah. Let's leave it over here. Baya.
Oh yeah.
So how do we say it?
So we do say it's Temurasi. The Kaparasi.
Through this whole discussion.
Good day, Jeff.
How do we ask for all our forgiveness?